successfully solved the problems of modernity or modernization. Well, what are these problems of modernity and modernization? Pretty obvious, but again, the major one is precisely the loss of the decline of community and the growth of social isolation. And the loss of shared meaning and shared belief, as well as the more specific social problems which you find, which intellectuals are very familiar with in their own society, you know, social problems like crime and juvenile delinquency and old people who are not well integrated into society, and drug addiction and alcoholism and the destruction of the natural environment. Intellectual, these of course are very closely associated with modernization. They are the unintended byproduct of modernization, and intellectuals were under the impression that communist countries somehow managed to carry out this kind of material side of modernization, you know, building more hydroelectric plants and having more manufacturing jobs and more roads and better housing and whatnot and more literacy, and they accomplish all these things without what might be also summarized as creating this widespread sense of alienation in the population. And they of course also believed that these political systems were extremely popular, and they didn't consider somehow implausible or strange that 99% of the population would vote in one-party elections for the one party. They accepted that it was somehow believable, possible. They even thought important to know that these people were mostly conducted tours. They didn't know the language, didn't wander around by themselves. Usually they had interpreters, minders, guides. So they were even taken to model prisons, and they were greatly impressed by them. This was again a pattern in many societies, that they were actually taken tours of these model prisons in which they impressed the Western visitors, the intellectuals, with this kind of humane attempts to rehabilitate the wrongdoers. And of course they believed that people supported these systems as reflected in these votes, and they believed that the leaders were exceptionally kind, warm, concerned, and also intellectually impressive and brilliant leaders. And I think it's another. I will finish very shortly. Just some general point as to how these countries were selected to be idealized, and these were some of the requirements. They had to be distant and poorly known. They also had to be hostile to the United States and some other Western countries. They also had to be seemingly dedicated to some set of utopian goals, and in particular the claimants of the Marxist ideological legacy. I mean, intellectuals were convinced that these countries were realizing the best ideas of Marxism, and this was really a kind of a secular. Marxism was treated as a secular religion, which made life meaningful, and also it was also scientific socialism. It provided this guide how to transform society, how to provide meaning in life. And I think what is really perhaps the most important, and this is I think the most crucial persistent factor, which still predisposes intellectuals to make political misjudgment, that their alienation from their own Western capitalist societies is no longer primarily based on the most obvious injustices or inequities of capitalism, you know, such as unemployment or huge income inequalities. I think that intellectuals have been increasingly critical of capitalism because of its capacity to undermine spiritual values and to deform human natures, kind of corrupting influences which emanate from this kind of affluent industrial consumer society. Well, I think these critiques are still with us, is said to be the critiques of human nature. You know, it's not peculiar to capitalism for human beings to like to accumulate and to indulge if they can help in a lavish lifestyle and so forth. And of course, capitalism is also provides a great deal of freedom, or has been associated with freedom, and it's not always easy to use freedom. What to do with freedom, what to do with options. It's something I don't understand from the United States, where many people feel they have too many options. They have identity problems. Now, this is something new. Marx didn't talk about identity problems, but modern societies, modern capitalist societies, indeed create identity problems in conjunction with the growth of individualism. So individualism is a mixed bag. We all want it, all the good things associated with it, but it has its problematic sides, and it's often associated with social isolation. So I don't know what exactly the future of political privileges will be, but I think that the disposition to engage in them is likely to be present in the foreseeable future because of the nature of modernity and the way many people react to what might be called the darker side of modernity. And I look forward to your questions and comments. Thank you.